Hidden Gems.
Yes.
Hidden Gems. So what was the origin behind you and your wife putting that together? And y'all been working on that for a few years with my boy Swag, Around Here Radio.
Right.
So how was that experience? And what was the origin of y'all putting that together?
Yeah, it was great. So, I guess I've always been a person that's like, you could have people give you an opportunity, or you could create your own opportunity. Right. You could create your own opportunities, and so at the time I was doing call center work professionally, and there wasn't a day that went by where someone on the other end of the phone was going, "You should be in radio."
You got the voice for it. Mm-hmm.
And I would hear it every week. Every week I would hear, "You should be in radio." And so I was like, maybe I should be in radio, right? They're planting the seeds. So, I know everybody in town. I would go to air personalities and stuff at all the different stations and stuff like that, and ask, how can I, get on the radio? How can I do this?
Right.
But there didn't seem to be any openings, and nobody was like offering me any opportunity to come in. I finally did get a chance to do an apprenticeship at a gospel radio station in North Augusta, and WNRR. My man Ruben Freeman was running it at the time, and Tony D had a radio show, a Saturday radio show, gospel show.
Okay.
And so I would go in with him and learn radio, learn how to plug the music in, and learn how to operate the equipment, and learn the ins and outs of it. It's a lot more intricacies than the average radio listener understands what's happening in the background, the programming of it and things like that. So I was able to do that. And then I was able to kind of join up with him as a co-host. So then I started getting this opportunity to be on the air. Different times he would be out. He couldn't make it for whatever reason, and I would go in and
fill in.
Yeah, and fill in and things like that. So I got more comfortable with it, and the wife would come in and she would kind of do her thing too. And so eventually I still wanted to kind of like graduate to doing what I wanted to do, play the kind of music I wanted to play and things like that. So got the opportunity with Swag to go into Round Here Radio, Bottom Line Studios. And
Bottom Line Studios.
And he offered up a whole platform and said, hey, you got a 2-hour slot to do what you want to do.
Right. And
so we chose a Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4. Brother Trav presents Hidden Gems. Sister Law is the co-host, so it was the two of us, and we just and we called it Hidden Gems because what we were doing was we were playing music that was mainly indie music. So we weren't playing all your popular hits by all your popular singers and rappers and stuff like this. We play underground stuff that basically unsigned artists and things like that. And so it was really good, man. It was a variety. We would play everything. We had a kind of format where we would open up with, at one time we would open up because it was a Sunday afternoon and we were kind of piggybacking off of this gospel show that they had on the air prior to us. Mm-hmm. And so we would open up with gospel, or then we would open up with international music. So a lot of like African music and anywhere, Spanish or anywhere from around the globe. Because keeping in mind, this is now a internet format.
Right.
So we got listeners all over the globe. So we just try to cater to anybody that could be listening across the globe. And so we would play anything from hip hop. I mean, we were playing some Russian hip hop at one time.
So Russian hip hop.
Russian trap music.
Russian trap music. That's pretty interesting.
Yes, and even though you couldn't understand the words and the lyrics,
it still sounds trap.
It's still hard. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just one, like, me as a hip hopper, like, it's amazing.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right. Especially Russian.
Yeah, and then we would close every episode with jazz music and and everything in between. So it was a wonderful thing. And then just to kind of continue, eventually we began to do a part of the show that was called the Hidden Gem of the Week. That happened at the top of the hour, the Hidden Gem of the Week. And the Hidden Gem was basically me or us coming up with one artist, and we would maybe play three or four of their tracks back to back to back, read a bio on them and everything like that. It was our Hidden Gem of the Week. We had a topic of the week where we would just have a question, and then we would have people chime in on the internet or when we go live and things like that. And you could call in or whatever and participate in whatever was the question of the week, the hidden gem topic of the week. So just to kind of fast forward to now, because there have been times eventually because swag would have all the metrics and demographics and things like that. And so there were times where we would have 100,000 listeners on an episode. We would have 50, 60, 70, 150,000 listeners on a single episode. And that felt good. But what I was missing was essentially at the end of the day, it's just me, my wife, and Swag in the studio, right? And I just had to take his word that 100,000 people was on board with us. But I'm more of a, remember earlier we talked about social distancing?
Yeah, I'm more of a in your face,
hands-on type of person.
Because that's where you come from,
That's
your
where
shows.
that's where I come from. And so we stopped doing the radio show. We just got burnt out on it after a while because it was weekly. So 6-7 years later, after doing a weekly show, after a while it kind of felt like a job. And you had to move on a Sunday afternoon where we didn't want to always get up. And so now this is transitioned into a live in-person event that we call a Hidden Gems social session. Now we do this once a month at Icon Cigar Lounge. It's still happening. We're 3 or 4 years in now. Every second Tuesday, Icon Cigar Lounge on North Leg, and we come in, and then the same kind of variety of music we play when people come in and socialize and smoke cigars and just talk and things like that. And then we have a topic of the month now. Off of the topic of the week from the radio show, we have a topic of the month. So I'll come up with a topic and we'll bring people in who want to just pass the mic around and give their 2 cents. And that's been very successful. So I like that.
I'm gonna come out to one though. You say every second Tuesday.
Yeah, we got a really big one coming up here. We have a special guest coming up on the next one in October.
Okay, I'm not saying it's at Icon.
Icons.
Man, I'm running with Dwayne and them, man. I gotta go holler, good people, man. Good people,
man.
Good people.
A couple of the owners I went to high school with and everything. So that's home.
Yeah, there's some cool people, man. Good people. I always have some good business with them, man. So, so winner of phase 2 of Lucy C. Laney's Golden Blocks competition. What was that about?
Also,
and it was sponsored by the Greater Augusta Arts Council and City of Augusta.
Also, another story that goes along with that. So this was something that was put out in the paper, and it was publicized that, because now they're trying to beautify Augusta by putting murals around.
Yeah, murals and stuff around.
You see a lot of murals and statues and things like that around town. And so the Golden Blocks is actually that thoroughfare through Laney Walker, almost kind of in this area a little bit.
Yeah.
And they call it the Golden Blocks because at one time, and me growing up in Augusta, and my parents grew up in Augusta, I've always had a knowledge of this because they would always educate me on it. But before integration, during segregation, a lot of those businesses were Black-owned businesses.
Talking about downtown?
That Laney Walker thoroughfare near where Tabernacle Church is and all that. Right. So that whole stretch right there, nothing but Black businesses, insurance companies, there was a black theater. It was a black owned theater. It was doctors' offices, stores, you know, and it was called, they call it the gold, now they call it the Golden Blocks. So they wanted to do a lot of history on that.
That's my first time hearing about the Golden Blocks.
There's a lot. I'm going to send you some stuff.
Okay.
There's a whole lot. And so the Lucy Craft Laney Museum.
Yeah, okay.
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 People know Laney High School, but they might not know the history of Lucy C. Laney. She's a very prominent person, extremely prominent. All these people were prominent in this Augusta history. So anyway, they put out an ad or whatever where they wanted people to respond and then apply to be a part of this artistic project mural that was going to be painted or whatever. So my wife said, they're looking for artists. I think you should do this. Well, it was like the tail end of whatever the deadline was only a couple of days away. And part of it was you had to have already had it go to a tour of the Lucy Craft Laney Museum to be eligible. And so now here it is, like on a Friday or something like that. The deadline's like that following Monday. You had to write up a big thing and all this stuff here. And so I was able to get Corey Rogers, who runs the Lucy Craft Laney Museum. He's the museum curator. And he said, well, we got an opening on Sunday to come down and take a tour or whatever and everything like that. So I showed up on Sunday. And then that Sunday, because I'm still kind of like brainstorming on, really they looking for visual artists because it's a mural.
Right.
And I'm a poet, so I don't really know how I can make this work. Right. So I happened to, at the same time, run into an associate who is a painter who was there at the same time, Xavier. Right. Xavier Jones. So if you remember when I was talking about, I used to go to this art studio with the Franklins, Barbara Franklin. And so the Studio Art Grove, one of the artists that was in residence there, his name was Xavier, and he would teach painting and drawing and things like that. So I ran into him there, and I go, Xavier, I got an idea. So I pulled him to the side, and then I said, why don't you and I team up and we try to do something together? Our concept will be you do this painting, and I'll just write a poem to describe whatever is happening in the painting. He said, I like that. And then we submitted that idea together as a team. And we won. We got opportunity. They had 30-something submissions. People from North Carolina and everything was submitted everywhere to do this. Yeah. And we got chosen, we got selected. And now on the corner of 9th and Laney Walker, on the corner of 9th and Laney Walker, there's they erected a wall that they just built just for us to do the mural.
And that's it's a small little wall right there by itself. It just right
and
there.
It just sits right there.
It just sits there.
It just sits there.
Oh, okay.
And you got Lucy C. Laney on there. You got T.W. Josie on there. Yeah.
So those are people that's on there.
Those are the people that's on there.
Okay.
Right. Those are the people that's on there. Okay. And so
we done took pictures and stuff in front of it and everything.
Yeah. And so if you notice, there's a frame, like a brick wall frame that goes around it, and it has words on there. So those are my words. So
I'm have to go back out there again today.
Right. And they're just a couple of like lines from a poem that I wrote, a whole poem that I wrote called The Golden Blocks, that accompanies what's happening in the picture, and it describes the whole thing.
Man, that's crazy, man. We ride by it all the time because we basically right up there.
Yes.
So we ride by it all the time, and we actually was over there the other day filming something over there.
So I'm gonna send you because there was a big like ribbon cutting ceremony. All the delegates in Augusta and everything came down, and I got a chance to record the piece that I recorded I recorded it with a jazz band in town, so there's like a musical backdrop to it and all this stuff here that it goes with it. So next time you go there, play it and look, because it's breaking down who's who and what and that history behind.
I'm going to do that today.
Yeah, and that history behind it. So that's the golden blocks, and that was something really special. I was honored to be able to take part in that.
Man, that's dope, man. That's really dope. That's dope, man. So you've been doing a lot in the city.
I've been doing a whole lot.
A whole lot in the city, man.
A whole lot in the city. I've done so many special things. Another thing that I've done within the past few years here, the first Black dental students. The first Black dental students in Augusta were honored. And I got a call to write a piece for them. And that was really special because they had a really big, really nice ceremony and everything like that. And so I got to go present to them and, you know, framed up the poem and everything. And they're still living, you know. They still, I think, maybe at least one of them is still practicing. And I got to, you know, to do that presentation for them, and that was great.
Man, that's dope, bro. That's really dope, brother. That's really dope. That's dope.
Yeah, appreciate it. These opportunities, you know, and to me that comes along with me being poet laureate. You know, people think of spoken word and poetry. Who call Trav?
Right.
Right.
Yep. Call you. Facts.
Right.
That's facts, man. So, as far as the crime that's been in this city, because you're born and raised a native down here. We had an incident at the mall, just the other day. Well, they consider it, calling it a revenge type plot, revenge thing or whatever. But the fact that it's at the mall, which we'd have had a couple shootings there already, but I don't think we actually had a murder there. You know, I think this was the first one in a while, or first one that led to a homicide. Where do you feel Augusta's at when it comes to youth crime or just crime in general in the city?
Man, this is a heavy topic. Our youth are lost. Our youth are lost, and not all of them.
Okay.
There's a quote, and I don't know exactly who said the quote first, but there's a quote that says, "They take the lowest essence of who we are and give it maximum exposure."
Oh my God, yes.
They take the lowest essence of who we are and give that maximum exposure.
Yep.
Which paints the picture and creates the impression of who we are or who the youth are. And so who kind of gets overlooked is the good kids. The kids who excel and make good grades and college scholarships and, you know, go on to be professionals and inventions
and creators.
And go on to be professionals and make money and have their own families and things like this. I can think of several examples, including my own. You know what I'm saying? Like they get overlooked because that's not really getting publicized or highlighted. But what is getting publicized is what happened at the mall or what's happening in the jail report. It's in your feed and stuff like this. So I wanted to say that because I wanted to make it seem, we need to kind of like kill the impression that all the youth are going astray. Because they're not. Right. Not all of them.
Not all of them. My son damn sure ain't.
See what I'm saying?
My son is not.
And there's great examples. You know, everybody I know got kids positive, you know, kids who have done positive things. Right. And I think times have just changed. Times have changed because I remember when I was young, like, what was the motivation to do right?
Your parents. Your parents was on you. You had a community more. You had more of a village. Right. Of people, like family members, parents, teachers.
Yeah. I didn't never want to let my people down. I didn't ever want to disgrace them. My dad used to say, don't make our last name look bad. Don't make our name look bad. You see what I'm saying? Like, I
Right.
couldn't imagine being in the newspaper for something, a crime or something like this. I would feel like I would be a disappointment, not to just myself, but to my whole family.
That bear
I
the
think
last
they would,
name.
and not just my family, people in the community that had faith in me and believed in me. So I think this is a lot. It says a lot to me where the youth don't have a problem. It's like they don't need to try to live up to a certain standard.
Mm.
And I always let my sons know that there's an expectation. You know what I'm saying? There's
Right.
an expectation
Right.
of you.
Right.
And we not gonna really settle for nothing less.
Right.
And that was instilled in me as a youth. But now it's different. Now it's different because what gets exposure, how they say, attention is the new commodity.
Mm-hmm. Attention is a drug now.
Attention is the new commodity.
Right.
And so with what I was just saying about what gets the maximum exposure is the negativity.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so how can I make the paper? How can I go viral? You see all the fights and things that are happening. I opened up my Facebook this morning and got some more girls fighting at the gas station.
I seen that one.
So stuff like this, and then it got 300 shares.
300. Yep.
So we're all responsible and accountable for that, because knowing they want attention, you help them get attention.
It got posted for a reason. For that attention.
You help them gain attention. So by any means necessary, they want to get, essentially they want attention.
Right.
And acting out gets them attention, whether it's positive attention or negative attention. Like they say about publicity, ain't no such thing as bad publicity.
Oh, man.
Right.
Right.
That quote is
so
detrimental.
misleading.
Yeah, it's detrimental, because to them it's still attention, and they crying out for it. They crying out for attention. They want the recognition for whatever reason or whatever. And I wanted to talk about this part because I get a lot of pushback whenever I kind of put it out there.
Okay.
Because I feel like entertainment does play a part.
It plays a large part.
But some people will say, they will argue with me to the end of the day. They will argue with me and say, I don't think entertainment is a detriment, because, hey, I used to listen to NWA and I used to listen to this and that, and I turned out fine. Look at me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or I used to watch Scarface and The Godfather and all that stuff there. I didn't never become no mobster or nothing like that, or no gang member.
Right.
Look at me. Well, that might be fine for you, because you might have had another structure around you that told you this is just entertainment.
Right.
You also had a structure and a foundation around you.
When I first got here, I studied everybody. I studied you. Everybody that had moves around here, that had names or brands, I studied them because I need to know who to work with, who to network with, who to, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So I ain't never had time to even click with Carlton yet, but plans there. It's going,
it'll happen.
this time. But continue what we was talking about before our battery died. About the youth.
About the
Entertainments.
Right. So maybe it didn't, if you take a person who's, first of all, when we're young, our young minds are very impressionable. Right?
That's true.
Our young minds are very impressionable. And one of the characteristics of being a teen is rebellion. Right? So even if your parents tell you to do one thing, it's something intrinsically inside of us that's gonna do tell us to do a different thing,
Do something different.
Yeah, because we rebel. We get to that age where we want to rebel. We want to. Your parents say come in at 11 o'clock. You gonna come in at 12.
You come in when you feel like it. Well, you gonna, but there's also repercussions behind it.
Yeah. Which is what we learn. Right. So if you don't have that proper structure, then you can easily stray.
That's nice.
But you can't make me think that music and entertainment is not impressionable. I had somebody on Facebook under my comment the other day and say, nothing through entertainment has made me do something that I already want to do. I beg to differ, because look at the good. And see, that's why I challenge that, because I grew up in the era in which my hip hop was Nas, Public Enemy, X-Clan, KRS-One,
Big Daddy Kane,
the Brand Nubian, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the hip hop that I listened to in that era, it made me socially conscious. It made me get knowledge of self. I'm still rocking the beats and the dashiki. You see what I'm saying? It formed me. It literally formed me into who I am. I wasn't a student who was a history buff just because of school or class, but listening to hip hop, listening to KRS-One call these names out and Public Enemy reference certain things. It had me asking my parents to take me to the library. Can y'all take me to the library?
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because I just wanted to now I became a reader.
I used to have a library card because of them.
See what I'm saying? Right.
For real.
Right. And so if it could work in a positive way, it could work in a negative way. The other side of the coin is when I started drinking as an underage, I'm drinking and getting toe up and all that stuff. Where did I get the idea to drink 8-Ball and drink, you know what I'm saying? Old English 800 and gin and juice. Snoop Dogg told me about gin and juice. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Remember these St. Ides commercials that were geared towards us?
Right.
And they had every rapper had a St. Ides commercial.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even like Ice Cube and everybody. And so, we got to go drink St. Ides. That stuff get you toe up. Right. Yeah, you get out there and start acting up and anything could happen. You know what I'm saying? Right. So we were impressionable. I didn't start smoking weed until I was in my 20s. Why? Because Dr. Dre came out with the Chronic. And then they had the Leaf and everything was all cool and the Philly blunts and they had the gear and the apparel and all that stuff there. And I wasn't going to be left out. I'm with my friends and everybody passing it around. I was strong enough for a long time to be like, no, I don't mess with that. Right. But eventually I started doing it too. So yeah, you can't sell me on the fact that music and entertainment doesn't have an impression on us. And now we at the drill music stage era.
I'm on the same way with you, because I can argue with somebody all day that that music does help a lot with far as emoting people, and the number one culprit that I point to is TikTok. It's like, because it was intended as a musical app at first, and then it become what it is now. And the majority of it is like, these challenges and music trends and things like that. So following the app, a follow app. It's like, and you see everything that you said is on there. Like, you see all the inspiration, all what makes them act a certain way. They acting out the music. They're dressing like the music. They buying jewelry. They don't even know none of this jewelry and none of this clothing and stuff, but they go look for it. because they hear these rappers talk about it.
Right.
Even with the sliding thing, like these Dracos. I didn't know what the hell a Draco was.
Okay.
Name of a gun. Until I hear it in his musics.
Right.
You hear these little kids walking around, these teenage boys with Dracos. I'm like, how you like, you know what I'm saying? So I totally agree with you.
Yeah, and then you even see like when they start playing the music, then they're doing the gun gestures and all, like it's all
Right.
part of it, you know? And it's like, he's 12. You
got a 10-year-old walking around.
Yeah.
You have a 10-year-old walking around what they call it a Pooh Shiesty mask. All these kids walking around with these hijacking masks. Back then, we couldn't walk around with this ski masks on. We going to jail. Now they just walk around like it's normal.
Yeah, it's just, and that's why I say they're lost. They're lost, but it's part of the plan. It's part of the plan. People that don't believe the music and entertainment has the ability to put impressions on people, they need to study propaganda. They need to study propaganda because nothing's by coincidence. They put these things out here, they give it maximum exposure in order for us to go on this trend. Now you got a school to prison pipeline going on. So now once the prisons are now become privatized, I can't build a hotel and have a empty hotel and keep my doors open. I got to book the rooms in the hotel. So they can't keep throwing up these prisons and not book every cell.
That's fact.
Well, because every cell
Costs money.
they make money.
Right.
From the government. Right. And so once you start researching that and studying that, how can we keep a steady stream of people coming into these prisons? Because we got to keep these cells full.
Right.
And prisons are overcrowded.
Right. That's so true.
Prisons are overcrowded.
Right.
So is there an incentive to stop crime?
No, because I think if you do stop crime, I think it's like millions and millions of dollars being made and just crime being made
In the business.
in the business.
In the business of law. Enforcement. You see what I'm saying?
That's why they won't legalize marijuana, because they make more money being illegal than legal.
Right. Right. And so we just got to keep it going. You got to keep it going. You can't have all these attorneys that used to making $300,000 a year not having no clients because
Right.
everybody's abiding by the law. You know what I'm saying? You know, like it just ain't gonna work.
Ain't gonna work,
It's too big of an industry. So there's no motivation from the government standpoint to stop these things. Their solution is just to lock them up.
Lock them up.
It's like and then we see us chiming in, saying that, agreeing with that.
Right.
Like, we're chiming in, not me and you.
Right.
But when you see these things happen, like the thing you talked about at the mall, you see people commenting on their lock date up.
Oh, I've been saying a lot.
Hang them.
That situation, you've seen a lot of racism out of people, stereotypes. You've seen a lot of everybody want to blame the parents on the situation, which I can't. My thing is this: certain situations you can't blame the parents, because I know I've known this preacher married couple back home. They've been married for 30 years. These are the most sweetest people that you've ever meet. They're pastor's wife.
Yes.
They always lived by the good book. They always lived the good path. The whole city know and respect them. Their kids are terrible.
Yeah. You ever heard of referred to as PKs?
Yeah.
Preacher kids.
Preacher kids.
Preacher kids.
Preacher kids are the worst.
Yeah.
So their kids are the worst. The son's been in and out of prison.
Excuse me.
Been in and out of prison. And the daughter, she's a stripper. So it's like totally opposite
What a
from the faith.
disgrace. What a disgrace. What a disgrace.
And you can't blame the parents. The parents been
Preaching.
law-abiding citizens, preaching the word, been having the church been open for 25 years.
Right.
It's a staple in the community. It's just their kids are bad.
Right. Because it's the rebellion.
It's the rebellion.
It's the rebellious spirit
But you're not really, it because they rebel for the negativity, ignorant stuff. They don't rebel to like, I want to go to college and they won't let me go to this college. So I'm just going to go to this college anyway.
Yeah.
That's not that type of rebel. They rebel is, I want to be in the streets, hang with my homeboys.
Right.
For no reason.
For no reason. Yeah. And then it's the acceptance. It's the wanting to be a part of a group and things like this. You know, I mean, unfortunately, I sat there and watched the footage of the thing happen at the mall because it's out there.
Yeah, I seen the footage. Yeah, it was kind of bad. It was terrible.
And if you just saw what happened and how it happened, there was no brawl or anything. There was no, it didn't even seem like there was an argument or anything like that. It just seemed like
it was weird.
Little buddy just pulled out and.
My thing is this: what was the security? Like, when I watched the video, like I haven't been to the Augusta Mall a lot lately. I mean, I go every now and then, but I barely have a reason to go in there. But when I did go in there one time, you know, I have seen security in there. Mm-hmm. But my thing is this: I mean, and this ain't been the first shooting that's been at the mall neither. Mm-hmm. I feel like the city needs to do more. If you're gonna have that. Because, you know, there's only how many streets this city has that makes the most money? Washington Road makes the most money, ain't it? Because of the Masters. And then you got, what's the second highest paying road? Riceboro Road?
Riceboro Road.
Yeah, Riceboro Road.
Yeah.
Something like that. So if that's one of your highest paying road, why not establish that road? Like, protect it? Because you got Caucasian people going, you got all type of ethnic people coming in. When people come to the city, they want to visit our mall.
Yeah. This was like a weekday morning or something.
Yeah, something odd.
Yeah. Right.
So like, what was the security during that time? Like, that's when I seen that video. I'm like, they're just poor. This poor. They're just crazy.
But I agree with you. But could security have prevented that?
Because they were arguing at first. They said it was arguing at first. And then I felt like any type of disruption, because you can see where in the video there's a guy that has a booth there that sells phones. He's watching the whole thing. So this happened right in front of his booth. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like some adults, somebody should have been in there, and because as black folks, we know when something finna escalate to a point where we gotta move. Hey, they finna fight, they finna shoot, let's get. I don't know. I just feel like that situation is the villages are not there no more. Right. Back then, you know, if a child being bad, it'd be the neighbor telling them, hey, you need to get home. I'm going to tell your mama. I'm going to tell your daddy. Right. We don't have that no more.
There's no respect.
That too.
There's a lack of respect. Because I have heard, older people say that they have tried to say something to the younger people. I remember I just read where Cliff from Cliffisms. Okay. He was saying that there was this, group of youth outside of his place of business. This is a weekday morning, and they causing trouble in the corner store or whatever. And so then they cutting school. They in the street. Yeah. And it's a weekday morning, and Cliff said something to them, and they cursed him out.
No respect.
He said the oldest one couldn't have been no older than 12. He said they middle schoolers.
Going off.
They cursed them out. So.
And then it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Where did they get that from? No, you know what I'm saying? Where did they get it from? Majority of that, you could say like the parents could listen to music, whatever, but that's music influence. That's whatever, video games, whatever, because all music is in everything. Yeah. So.
Or their parents.
Or the parents.
Think about it. Every set of parents is not a good influence.
That's true. That's so true.
You can't, how many times have you heard, do what I say, not what I do?
A lot.
They ain't gonna work. That's never gonna work.
Never.
That's never gonna work.
Right.
I'm gonna sit there in front of my child, curse, drink, and beat my wife and say, don't do this stuff, son.
Right.
But he grew up his whole life seeing me
and see
curse,
you do
drink, and beat my wife. What's he gonna grow up doing?
Same thing.
Same thing.
It's a cycle.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle. And you can't say, don't do what I do, do what I say. It's just not psychologically sound.
That's so true. That's so true, man.
Yeah, so I just always believe that the solution, and I just came up with this, the solution is in the soil. The solution is in the soil. In order to prevent things and reverse things, we can't keep having this law enforcement because people like, where Gino at? You know what I'm saying?
like he's Superman.
Like we can't, it's like we're trying to resolve things by having a reactionary response. You know, we lock them up, put them in jail or whatever. It's like me trying to keep the weeds out of my yard just by cutting the grass with a lawnmower. Well, when it rains again, my weeds are popping back up like this.
Right.
The only way to keep getting the weeds out of my yard is they got to be pulled up from the root, or I got to treat that soil some type of way with some type of, you know,
weed be gone or something like that.
It's in the solutions in the soil. You see what I'm saying? And until we start taking that approach, the trend will continue until we start taking that approach. Like we have to get down to the foundation. What's happening? What's really happening? What's happening in their homes? We have town hall meetings, and whenever I've been around so long that this thing happens, it's like this. And whenever it happens, people get alarmed and they want to come together and they want to form some type of, hey, let's meet over here and let's discuss this or whatever. Everybody got good intentions. I'm not knocking anything. And I've been part of different things. But who's missing usually in those platforms? The kids. Got a bunch of grown-ups talking about the kids.
About the kids.
Without hearing the voices of the kids.
Right. Seeing their point of view of things. That's true. That's true. That's facts.
I talked to a young lady who's a friend of mine, and she's a teacher over at the alternative school. Well, the murderer, the mall shooter. Yeah, mall shooter. He was one of her students. He was one of her students.
They said it was they said it was a retaliation. They say it was a kind. Some say it was a good kid. I don't know. I feel like good kids I know don't walk around with straps in their pants, in shorts, and just walking around in the mall.
Yeah.
Not saying that he wasn't a good kid. I'm not being passing judgment on nobody, but we have to look at looking at the aspects of everything, just the visual of it on the outside. You know, people would think that. You know what I'm saying? You know, because how old were you? What, 16, 15, something like that?
Yeah, young.
Like so it's super like
young.
Yeah, like yeah. I don't think I was carrying. I think I've ever had a gun. My first gun I ever had, man, no lie, well, 18, 19, 20, something like that.
But and what was your purpose of getting?
My purpose on protection. It wasn't on I wasn't in the streets or nothing like that. As far as like, I had a lot of equipment. I had a studio back then. Like I had my own studio equipment. I was in a bad neighborhood back in those days. People used to break in people's houses and stuff like that. So I brought that just on protection, protect what I paid for.
Right.
But it wasn't for no intent as far as harming people.
Yes.
I never pulled it out on people to scare people. Like, you know, because I was always told, never pull it out unless you finna use it. Because these days now, you pulling out, you gotta use it. Because if you pulling out on somebody,
they got one too.
Right. If they don't have it, they're gonna come back and shoot you just because you pulled it out.
Right.
So
and to me, it just kind of, the entertainment and everything is tied up in it. What are our most popular TV shows amongst our people now? You got your Power series and stuff like this. And those shows keep getting renewed
every time.
And there's going to be another chapter. And It's because this is what they want to put
wanna
out
put
there.
out there.
Because it's the whole like retaliation mindset. Oh, so-and-so, they got so-and-so. Let's strap up. Let's go get
them.
Let's go get them boys. Let's go ride on them boys. You know what I'm saying? And it teaches them that this is the way to resolve conflict.
Yeah, and it affects, and it actually trickles down to the real world, because that's how in the real world, some people watching a video or listening to music, especially drill music, about sliding. You take one of my men, I'm finna take two of yours. I'm finna wet your mama house up, all types of stuff. So that's why I'm like, the youth down here doing all that crime stuff. They're trying to mimic Chicago, Memphis.
So why don't we all as a community boycott Stars or whatever channel that wants to keep power on, or these negative things, the radio stations that want to play drill music or whatever? Why don't we collect, because they can't survive without us.
Yeah, they sure
but
can.
These shows, their ratings are so high. But if we want to team up as a group of people, we say, you know what, we ain't gonna have it. You're not gonna keep putting these messages out here to our youth.
They do it, but they do it they do it when they want to do it. Like when they want to counsel something, they counsel it. Like the black, come on, like for instance, like the baby. You remember the baby? The baby was counseled by the blacks. Was the counsel for saying, he said, if anybody ain't sucking in the parking lot, you ain't got AIDS, you know, in that situation or whatever, and was counseled. You know, which you're supposed to have freedom of speech in this world, there's no such thing as freedom of speech without repercussions. But they counsel things they want to counsel, you feel what I'm saying? And which I don't like, because it's stuff that y'all need to counsel that they love. You know what I'm saying? Which I never understands that. Like, and even with like, nothing against the LGBT community or nothing like that is all, but I have an issue with men that's trans men or trans women calling natural women cisgender or cis women or whatever. I don't like that term.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because on the strength, I have a mother, I have a sister, I have a grandmother, I have an auntie, cousins and stuff that, you know, they're women. They've been through women pains. You know, they gave birth. They done been through all the women, you know, because they got more rights than the women these days. So it's like, I'll be totally against that type of thing. And I'm like, why not people going against that, trying to counsel them for saying that? You trying to tell a woman what a woman is and trying to make definitions of what's the definition of a real woman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I don't like stuff like that. We don't counsel stuff like that.
Think about it. Everything's just mixed up. Everything's mixed up. Dr. Claude Anderson said, we are going through life with upside down glasses on. Meaning what's right we think is wrong, and what's wrong we think is right. So it's like topsy-turvy. I like that. Think about it. If you look at it this way, out of the races, historically, who's usually the most conservative? We have been, right? Black folks can be strict in our upbringing. You know what I'm saying? No, you don't do that. You don't do that. You know what I'm saying? And at some point, we became part of the party that's known for being liberal. And the other party, Republican Party, is the conservatives. And now we over here as the Democrats, and the more liberal we can be, the more of a Democrat you are. You know, and what's the word liberal mean? Liberal just really mean anything goes.
Anything goes.
There is no right or wrong.
Right.
You know, our church, we grew up in the church.
Facts.
The most conservative type of upbringing you could have is going to be in a church.
Right.
Because the church is teaching these morals and what's right and what's wrong.
Right.
And if you do wrong, what's the repercussion?
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's conservative.
Right.
But now somehow we the liberals.
Yeah. All of a sudden.
Anything goes. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Free fall. That's crazy, man. Yeah, man. So before we slide off on NewbieVeT, man, how can they get in contact with you, brother, for bookings, meetings, and also any love you like to shout out?
Yeah, man. I want to shout out my wife, who's the other half of Uprise Events and Entertainment, and she's known as Sister Law, but she's also now known as Kiki Charisse. She's got her solo album coming out very soon.
Ready to check it out.
Yeah, Kiki Charisse. She's an up and coming artist, and she's already making a lot of great contacts and everything. So look her up, Kiki Charisse, Kiki space CHARISSE, Kiki Charisse. So she has been behind me for so long, and she's been so supportive. I feel great to be able to be in a position where now I get to support her, and I get to push her out front and fall back a little bit.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, that makes me feel good. But if you want to get in contact with us, Uprise, that's UPRISE, Events and Entertainment on Facebook. Follow us there. Events that we do, events that we like to push out to the community are usually there. One of the things that I always like to mention is, and this is one of the foundations for Uprise, KRS-One coined a term called edutainment. You may have heard of it.
Yeah.
Edutainment is basically education and entertainment, and they come together, and they don't have to be separate. And what I like to be a part of my brand is something, it's entertaining, but there's always something to learn. It's always something to learn from it. It's always something valuable that you could take from it or extract from it. So I try to be positive in the entertainment that we push. That's what you find at Uprise. Also, you can find me just on Facebook as Brother Trav, the Godbrother. It's BROTHA TRAV GODBROTHA, Brother Trav, the Godbrother. I'm sure you can type it out on the screen and everything here. You can find me there. Instagram, Godbrother1, GODBROTHA. Hey, actually, I've finally gotten into a place to where I could just say Google me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. If you go Google, you put BROTHATRAV and then put Godbrother in the Google search, it's going to pop up all kind of stuff. You'll come across my YouTube channel and plenty of videos I have out there over the years, and just follow us. I'm not hard to find in the community. I'm not hard to find.